saying it's reconnected, so we'll see if it's cooperating. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
And
I got the sub on there. That's all that matters.
yeah. No. Well, I had to flick it. I had to manually flick it.
You just flip the bean. I was just thinking.
I
manually flick it.
Scott,
can you say something?
Something.
Flip the bean.
Flip the bean. All I care about is my messages now in your VOD.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mic check's good.
Alright, who wants to do the recap for last time?
I will say Scott is a little low, though. I'm not sure if that's a in setting or you setting.
Why not both?
It could be both. I'll turn them. I'll turn them up on my end. See if that helps a little. All right, give that a go. Turn them up to 130.
Huh? I said Korean fried chicken is always the answer.
I know, but
You say something, Scott?
Hello, I'm here.
And I'm queer. And we are here to get some queer.
No.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
All right, who wants to do the recap for last one? Not everyone at once.
If I had a better memory, I would.
Yeah, dude, same. It's like literally whenever we get somebody does the recap, I'm sitting here just being like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I've got the recap, guys. I slept for 10 hours.
So we did some shit, because we were going to go see Belle. Also, Enya nicked us some more fuel. So we crossed the River Styx, we made it to the forge to go speak to Belle. He basically was like, I'll help you guys, but you need to find these, shatter spikes, which are help break the chains that's holding us well. So he told us where to that there's a creature that we could go speak to. On our way to the creature, one of his little imp servants came with us, and we also found a woman just kind of wandering by. So we took her with us, spoke to the creature, managed to get the information about where the shatter spikes were. They're in one of the down ship thingies that we saw. They were a warship, basically.
Yeah, they're flying fortresses.
Flying fortresses, thank you. So we found a down flying fortress. We found shatter spikes. Also on the way there, we came across a man who was kind of panhandling on the side because he was trying to collect gold to pay off his wife's drinking debt. Simon almost gambled away all of our silver coins, but he resisted. Sabine gambled Kiss, and now she's stuck at 20 HP because succubuses suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they suck. So we went to the Flying Fortress, we found the shatter spikes, fought some giant snail-looking things, and now we're on our way back to Belle after running into Chunka and Plunka, and the fucking red nose hat, I don't know, red coats? What are they? The little gnome thingies?
Red caps.
Red caps, fucking
The red
war
coats.
machine. Yeah, the red coats.
Just little British men just out in the hell.
And Simon got the nuts back from them, which they called chestnuts because a guy ate them when they burst out of his chest.
Nice.
Yeah. See, now I'm just imagining little red caps that don't dye their caps. They just dye their coats and they just turn aggressively British. They're just aggressively British and love imperialism.
So from now on, if the red caps ever make it back, Colin, you have to do a British accent.
No, it's gonna be I'm gonna roll a D100 every time you guys run into a group of red caps, and there's a chance of them just being red coats.
Being aggressively British.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to write this down somewhere, just in future campaigns. If there's any mention of red caps, I'm rolling for them to be red coats. It's just gonna, and no one's gonna expect it. Like, you guys are gonna be like in a serious campaign or something. Like, we're gonna do like some campaign like Tales in the Witchlight that takes place in like the Feywild or some shit. And it's supposed to be like a super serious moment, and I'm just gonna describe a little guy in a red coat just being like, "Oh, love, you're enjoying the Feywild, are you?"
God.
Now we're gonna be doing like Chains of Asmodeus, and they're just gonna be like, "Oh, governor, you enjoying your
You're in a bit of a tizzy, you are. Just upset every fucking British person that comes to watch this. Like, we don't sound like that.
How many people do you think watch your stream?
Ami.
At least one.
At least one. I know Ami does.
At least one. Pyro as well, but
Well, Pyro.
Oh, yeah.
Pyro whenever he shows up. If anything, they feed into the stereotype sometimes.
Mostly Pyro. Yeah.
yeah.
Pyro especially feeds into the stereotypes. He finds that shit way too funny. Anyway.
Enough
Well, you gotta be able to
stereotypes.
take the piss out of yourself.
Always we're going with the silly accents and not like the actual like full-on stereotypical British stuff, like, you know. Anyway.
Jam
That
biscuits.
Hits?
Oh, like, well, if we're going like full stereotypical British, it'd be like drinking tea, having fucked up teeth, and all sorts of other fucked up stereotypes.
I mean, the red caps do some.
Well, yeah, to be fair, red cap, but I mean, red caps are just little shits, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So they should be Scottish.
yeah. That's fair. Well, I mean, it's the Fae. The Fae can be just about anything, to be honest. But honestly, having like,
Hey, honey, your hyper focus is showing.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway. So, yeah, we'll pick up as you guys have gathered up and gotten into your personal demon grinder and begin heading back in the direction of the forge. Not sure how many of you would be waving goodbye to the crew of Mad Maggie as you depart and head off in the direction where you know Bell's Forge might be in Avernus, because the lovely thing with Avernus is it changes all the times, because it's like it's an infinite plane or something.
Most of us would wait for that.
Yeah. Wave to the boys.
Yeah, wave to the good Kinku and probably the little flaming skull that drives around, which is absolutely funny to me. Let's see. We'll roll to see how many it takes you guys. I fucked that up. Just a second. Alright. I swear to God, you guys have been getting really good with your travel roll. This happened to my Curse of Strahd group last time too, where it's like, it normally has you roll for encounters for traveling, and then it's just like, if you roll really good, there's just some days where you don't encounter shit. Oh well. It happens. I'll have to look into the new travel rules or something, because there's some better travel. Anyway, you guys cross to Avernus, driving in the direction you know, or at least have an anchored idea where the Forge of Bell is located. After crossing through, you would eventually find a passing over the River Styx. I would assume Savine would use her Call to Ferryman to get across the River Styx.
Of course.
Yep. Which would involve dismounting from the War Machine, but getting across the River Styx is a rather pressing thing.
reset my spells. I gotta reselect the conjurer.
No, you're fine. So, as you cross through the river Styx, passing by, and again, your friend, she seems to kind of, again, stay far away from the water as much as she can, kind of staying more towards the center of the boat. Lulu kind of flying behind, seemingly very worried as your boat carries you across the river, different skeletal hands of souls of different ages reaching out, trying to almost seemingly grab onto the boat as their hand goes through it. As you cross through the river, getting to the other side, you make your way in the direction of the forge, where you would see the large volcanic forge that you would know Bell keeps his people into. Upon seeing you approach, the devils that act as guards stand by, letting you pass through into the forge, where the large open room, where the fire giants forge away, making new weapons of war for Bell, clink away as the Lord himself sits on a floating chair in the middle of the room, kind of looking down like a observer keeping an eye on his workers. He sees you all approaching as kind of a crooked smile on his face forms, but there's also a bit of a look of but blatantly you almost see a blatant look of surprise on his face as you all have made it back. The adamantine rods in hand.
Surprise.
As you approach him, he mutters a few words. For those who understand Infernal, he seems to be swearing to himself. As he kind of goes, as he kind of leans back in his chair and he goes, "So, it seems you successfully gathered the shadow spikes, then. Well done."
Thanks. You seem a bit disappointed with that.
Normally, I would have those make contracts with me, but I figured given the fortress's significance, it might have been more heavily guarded, but I seem to be mistaken. No matter.
There are these weird looking snail things in there, but that was about it.
I'll remember that next time when I need to run errands, but... Very well. I see that the rods seem to be intact as he kind of leans over his chair a little bit to get a better look at the adamantine rods. They seem to have their arcane power vested in them, which is good. So, all you have to do at this point, if you want to get use out of the shadow spikes, is now that you have them in your possession, when you return to El Terrell, the chains that bind it crawl up them to what connects them to your city, and once attached, the magics in them, if connected properly, should break the chains and allow El Terrell to be free of their bonds. However, something to consider is you may free your city of your bonds, but Those chains are the only thing stopping your city from plummeting into the river Styx.
Yeah, I was wondering how we were going to actually get it out past this point.
I may have an idea for you, and it would require a bit of assistance.
Okay.
Does it require blood?
Yes and no.
Oh.
You have what you need to find the key. It's just now you need a direction. As he kind of like snaps his fingers, materializing in front of you is what appears to be a small kind of, it seems to be a brick that almost seems to radiate a sense of divine energy about it. Not unholy, but celestial in nature. As he snaps his fingers, he kind of goes, there are many rumors and beliefs about a certain artifact that the Lord of the Nine Hells wishes for no one to find, and I have found it. Whatever seer you wish to use to locate the sword of Zariel, that should point you in the right direction.
Did you say the soul of Zariel?
Sword of Zariel.
Oh, the sword. Okay.
And that should be more than a powerful enough artifact to get you your city back to the plane to which it belongs, denying Zariel her rights. But
I'm sold.
I suggest you hurry though. The Bleeding Citadel is not going to last forever in Avernus. Celestial things only have so much time before the hells themselves swallow them up. So he kind of leans back in the chair. Also, Savine.
Sabine's gonna look at him, kind of surprised that he knows her name.
Do let your family know that if the sword is retrieved and what is done, their debt is paid off.
A debt? I don't know what you're talking about.
Your family not letting you into the business, I see.
I mean, my parents are dead, so...
Oh, I'm very much aware. I will let them know then.
Wait. Hang on. How do you know that they're dead, and how do you know who I am?
Because they signed a contract with me. I'm very much aware of them. As well as your friend there, as he gestures to Inya.
So he's gonna turn and look at Enya.
What does this mean?
You'd be surprised. Your friend is very much dead. Her soul is in my possession, as promised.
So you're saying that she also made a deal? Her contract?
She did. And she failed to uphold her end, so the payment has been recompensed with her soul. She now is a Lemure that serves in the blood rules.
And it kind of just drops to the floor. And what did she make her? What was the contract? Like, what was it about?
A request for power and knowledge in exchange for protection. There are many that were seeking the knowledge that she had, but it wasn't protection from her. It wasn't protection for her. It was protection for you.
She slams her fists on the ground and just starts sobbing.
I'm surprised.
Go ahead.
I'm surprised your mentor hasn't mentioned anything. He has made a few contracts in the past. An agent,
He knew about this?
of course, agents of Mephistopheles are aware of a lot more things than they let on. I could smell it. I could smell his taint the moment he arrived in Avernus.
What was my parents' contract?
Service to me in exchange for a normal, happy life for you. It was a bit of an unusual request, but I tried to fulfill it the best I could. But I am not a caretaker. I am a forge bringer, a bringer of war. Not.
Keep cutting out.
I am a forge maker, a bringer of lore, and an arch devil of Avernus, not a babysitter.
They just wanted a normal life.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised you're not the only one in your family that... You're not the only one in your family that served a blasphemous god. And what better protection from those who do not understand than Hellforge steel?
But what does that have to do with me? That was their contract. I didn't make one.
An offering in exchange that someday you would benefit my needs. Whether it's advancement, because I had a feeling that when Zariel came into service, that she would cause me problems, and my prediction was right. So a small addendum to their contract was written in that at some point you would serve me. But you have done enough for now. There's still a chance I might have use of your services in the future. But for now, you can rest that your contract will not be used into full effect yet. You're more than welcome to keep serving your questionable goddess. But when the time comes, if I require of your service, you will answer the call whether you want to or not. And just know, not even your goddess can save you from this contract. As he kind of leans forward looking at you. Now that we have gotten formalities done, I suggest before you head back to El Terrell to grab, before you free your city, find the true location of the Bleeding Citadel and inquire what Destiny has been offering you this whole time. A chance to strike down a being more powerful than any devil that this plane can produce. Sariel. And in return, when she is struck down, I promise as the Overlord of Avernus that El Terrell will be returned back to its material plane.
Can I insight check it?
You most certainly can.
Let's see if it's still injured. Yep.
Yeah, you very much do believe him.
Also, we found this lady by the river.
Yeah, as you gesture to her, Belle kind of looks disinterested as he kind of stares at her, and she kind of stares back unfazed. There's just this long pause of the two kind of just staring at each other before he just kind of lets out a snort, a small cloud of kind of smoke emanating from his nostrils, almost kind of similar to a dragon when it's about to breathe fire. Not much use for this one. Fodder, maybe. Food, perhaps, if you're desperate enough down here. Seems like her mind is clouded. Where did you find her, by chance?
Next to the river, wandering around.
That would explain it then. Though I must say I'm very much surprised her soul has been snatched away by the denizens in the river, let alone the dragons that infest the river Styx. She must be special to someone.
Any idea how we fix her?
He seems to think about it for a moment, and he kind of just goes, I could potentially remedy her, but what would I have to gain from it? He kind of leans back a little bit in the chair. She has nothing to bargain from me. Her soul belongs to someone else. And
Could be important. We have no idea. She can't talk or do anything. So she might be able to help us get the sword, maybe.
He kind of thinks about it for a moment. He goes, that is true. But my question to
I'm trying to get all the allies I can to get through this. That's the real goal.
well, if you want my advice, keep her stupid. She's more complacent and obedient that way. I can break.
I'd rather her be able to fight.
Have you not tested her capabilities?
No, we can't get her to do anything besides follow us and hold something we hand her. So
He thinks about it for a moment. I mean, I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement here. What do her skills... What would her skills be worth to you?
What would you like? Because I don't know. I'm not good at this whole bar. I'll go with you.
If you want her skills come into play, then perhaps your skills will be useful later. I suggest that when the time comes, that you work in my forges. In return, I will make sure her skills are useful for you.
My super can't work in the forge. I'm not a
You're a tinkerer, an inventor. You have the skills. You just need to apply them. New weapons of war are always in the need for invention and creation. War in itself is a profitable market. I can sense your interest in some of the more interesting inventions down here. This will give you an opportunity to explore and understand them better. No,
Am I stuck in the forge? Also, what is when the time come means?
Probably means the same thing for mine.
We can work on the terms. It depends on how long do you need her to be capable.
Simon, we don't even know if she has any skills to begin with. You're gambling. Again.
First of all, rude. There's no second of all, you're just right.
I would look at it this way, mortal. If she survived as a mortal form in... If she survived in a mortal form in Avernus, she is useful.
You keep kind of cutting out.
I know, it's... Let me try... Hold on. Mike's gonna get upset with me for a second. My mic. I'm like shifting it up closer to me because I think that's why it's getting upset. Alright, now I can only hear out of one ear. Give me just a second. Gotta love headphones sometimes.
I used this fancy like arm mic for a while, and I got a new headset at one point, and I just used the wireless headset.
Yeah,
Good quality.
I have a little Yeti. Like, it's been pretty useful. It's just this Blue Yeti is just old as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've had this Blue Yeti for like 4 or 5 years now. So it's probably about that time. I mean, it was a $200 mic for like $100, so shrug.
That's okay.
Yeah. Note to self, get a better name. Anyway, he... Okay, what was the last thing you heard, just to make sure I had the right mindset?
All we heard
on
is...
terms.
Well, no, we said gambling, you said consider this mortal, and that's all we heard.
Yeah, he said consider this. She was by the river Styx, not in a shell of her former self, but as her mortal form. So, chances are she knows her way around things, whether she remembers or not. So there might be skills useful there.
That's a fair point.
Have you considered putting pressure or applying her into danger?
If not.
You would be surprised. You mortals are fascinating in what you're capable of if put under the right circumstances. But if it interests you, I can perhaps clear her mind a bit more, and perhaps she can be more useful. But in that regard, the deal would be that I clear her mind. Your mind belongs to me and my forge.
Put a pin in that for now. We'll come back to that.
Very well. It'll be on the table.
Works for me. Alright, so now we gotta go find the dude. Someone to divine our mights or something to give us the sword.
Yeah, it was a seer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the 8 people that has told us we can do this.
So that would be either Mordenheimer or Red Ruth.
That you're aware of.
You guys think?
Should we rest before we get done?
Probably.
Probably wouldn't.
So we would probably rest before, probably need something like emporium, some stuff outside.
I mean, can we rest in the forge? Is that like a realistic thing we can do?
Do you really want to rest in the forge?
No, that's why I was asking. Like, is it something we could feasibly do, or is it going to be a terrible idea? I'm assuming it's going to be a terrible idea.
Yeah, probably a terrible.
And I repeat my question: do you really want to try to rest in the forge?
Alright.
So do we have the soul points to stay in the Wandering Emporium though?
We have a soul point.
Oh, we had 2 left.
No, Gamma.
I only gambled 1, I thought.
No, you gambled 2.
Oh, okay, well, we have 1.
Imagine having such a gambling problem you forgot what you gambled.
Fair.
Man, you could add 12 if you kept going.
See? He's right, we could have had 12.
Anyways, we've also got enough fuel that Anya won't need to make any because of that much ship thingy.
True.
I mean, I would really think that we should probably save the last soul coin we have for when we truly need it.
We don't have to pay every time we go to the Emporium. And
I swore last time when we stayed, we still had to pay a soul coin.
It's because you guys had ordered food.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. It was because we ordered food. Okay.
food and other services, but just to stay to rest, we don't have to pay a soul coin.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might as well. Maybe somebody in the Emporium can help us out with our acquaintance.
You can bring her to Burn.
Oh yeah.
Might be able to help.
Alright.
Oh,
All right.
Let's go.
Tally ho.
Tally
No,
ho.
I mean walk outside.
Sabine's gonna wait for everybody to go ahead and she's gonna look back at them and be like, "Here's how my parents thought I helped them."
He kind of gives what would probably be the equivalent of a slight nod.
The equivalent of a what?
Of a what?
Slight nod.
You're being
As you all
Walk out and yeah.
Yep. As you head out of the forge. My question is, do you summon the thing outside of the forge, or do you kind of get a little bit of distance away?
Like get a little bit of distance.
Yeah.
Alright. So you guys get a little bit of distance away before tossing the coin. After what feels like a lot longer than usual, you would see Mahadi's caravan kind of come up, pull in, and start unloading. And as they're kind of unloading, you can tell from a particular group. You can tell from the salamanders that are working the forge in Mahadi's area that they seem very extremely uncomfortable as they're kind of like constantly looking in the direction of the volcano. Even the little fire elementals are not as cackly and giggly as they are as the forge area seems a lot more quiet than it usually is. As the Wandering Emporium is set up.
I don't think I like being here.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of like being in a little grocer and having the king set up a feast right in front of you. It's kind of insulting.
Yeah. That's fair. Sabine's gonna look at Enya and go, "Do you wanna talk in private? Perhaps some kind of peace?"
Anya just has her head down. She kind of slightly nods at it while still looking at the things.
You guys can go. Maybe bring our friend to Bernie and see if she can assist, and we'll catch up with you twice later.
Can do.
Right.
So, Colin, I wasn't here last session. What does this woman look like that we've picked up?
Short black hair, kind of, from a meta perspective, she kind of has more kind of Asian appearance to her.
Okay, but she is definitely human.
As far as you can tell, yeah.
Yeah, as far as we can tell. Is
Yeah.
she like of a smaller stature or?
Smaller, slim, kind of slim, but kind of that fit slim, where it's not like lean muscle would be the best way to describe it.
She's toned.
Yeah, she's toned. Yeah.
Okay. And so as I said, she is incapable of speaking, but she can like
Not
follow and like grab things.
yeah. She can't speak
Okay.
coherently, but she is aware of like herself and others.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt the whole Bell speech to ask all that.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Okay. I'm going to gently take her hand and walk to Bernie's.
All right. So
The Bernie.
to Barney. So you all kind of lead her to kind of lead over to the barber shop, except for Savine and Inya. You would see the cheerful woman kind of sitting there. She kind of looks a little surprised to see a new person with you, as she just kind of goes, I see, I see that you're all, finding new souls to be here in Avernus.
We did learn she has a soul. So, there's that.
That she does.
But she can't really talk or communicate in any kind of meaningful way. And we're trying to fix that.
Well, if I were to make a guess, she more than likely fell into the river Styx. Nasty thing that thing is. She kind of like approaches the girl and kind of looks at her and kind of seems to kind of like do simple checks as she kind of goes. Yeah, she's very much showing signs of the influence of the river Styx, though what she is doing here is rather interesting. Outside of the mortals from Elturel, I'm a bit surprised to see a living creature near the river Styx like her.
Did you have an idea how to help her? Like, make her not this?
I might have a few. I have an idea, but if you don't mind, my dears, I wish to keep her for a little bit and make sure that there's no foul play happening, if that is alright with you. I would hate for any sort of nasty surprise involving her.
Okay. How long do you think you need to keep her?
Judging by the fact that you've called the wandering caravan to here, my suggestion would be, once you're done resting, I might have an answer for you.
Okay. Well, I trust you, so.
The woman kind of looks at you all kind of slightly nervously as Bernie kind of like gestures for her to kind of be like, come on, we're gonna do a little bit of checkup real quick.
It's okay, you're safe here. Bernie's not gonna hurt you.
I'm gonna kind of just raise my hand slightly and say, Miss Bernie, do you mind if not that I don't trust you or anything, but I feel like she would be more comfortable if one of us kind of was nearby.
Sure.
And
don't.
kind of nod a sign and go, you go ahead, I'll stay here.
Okie dokie.
Alright.
Wander off and do something, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, as you wander off and do something, we'll cut to Savine and Inya. as I assume you two kind of slink off to a part of the Wandering Emporium.
Yeah, I think we kind of just walk around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ever so noises of the cautious foraging kind of in the background versus its usual cacophony. In the backgrounds, the ever so slight clings of the forge kind of fill the background as you kind of walk around the Emporium. The floor is yours.
So, my friend, she was the only person that I ever really truly cared about, and I just can't believe it had to happen like this. I thought she was going to be okay, and I can't understand why she would have done this. Like, why offer her soul to keep me safe? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't know why my parents would offer them and then offer me in service. It's like you wonder if they, I mean, you probably don't. Your friend, it's clear that your friend loved you, but I wonder if my parents ever loved me if they were willing to do this.
I'm sure they did. They were probably in the same situation, whatever that may have been. I just we need to find out what happened, what put them in that situation. Because I just feel very hopeless right now. Because I wanted to find her, and my mentor, he knew about this, and I trusted him. And I can't believe he didn't tell me.
Yeah. I wonder what the reason would be why he didn't say anything. He was trying to protect
Sure.
you, or
I hope it's not. I hope he doesn't have ill intentions. He was. I thought I knew him. I thought I could trust him with with that, but to tell me everything. I, and now what, we're bound to this contract now too? Is that what's going on? I don't
well,
understand. Like,
you're not bound to a contract. It just seems that your friend made one to keep you safe. And I don't know whatever she offered in exchange, but he said she failed. So you don't have to do anything for him. Me, on the other hand, I guess I'm I'm a pawn for him at this point.
we'll have to try to find a way to fix this. However long that may take.
It's just, it's confusing because I get most of my magic, my spells, my healing from my goddess.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like hesitates for a moment and she goes, he kind of, she's not welcomed in Elturel, but it's Leviatar.
Oh, I'm not going to judge you for that.
And now it seems that looking back, some of the other things I can do, maybe they all didn't come. And I don't know. I guess I feel like I don't know who I am at this point. Am I a follower of her? Am I a servant of a devil? Am I both?
That's understandable. It's very confusing situation indeed.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you where I wonder if my uncle and my aunt knew it, and they never said anything.
And did this happen before Avernus was thrown into, or before the town was thrown into Avernus, or after? I wonder when this happened.
I mean, mine would have had to been before because my parents have been dead since I was young. So this was something they did when I was younger.
There's a lot of investigation we have to do to find out what exactly. Sorry.
There's just a whistle in the background. Somebody playing with one of those tin whistles in the background as we're talking.
It's the background ambiance.
Really good.
Yeah.
Well, one of those redcoats followed you guys.
We're gonna take a real, like, intense, serious moment and just make it up.
Oh, that was good.
Oh my
Holy.
goodness. The timing.
Everyone's good. Woohoo!
It's one of the fire elementals just having a little laugh as he's throwing random bits of fire at the salamanders.
God have mercy. Oh, that was good.
Anyways, there's a lot of missing information that we should probably try to search for on both of our parts, and I think the important thing now is that we can do this together. And
Sabine's gonna tentatively reach out and kind of take Enya's hand.
she takes it back and like kind of squeezes it and leans in for a hug just because she's like crying, so
Yep.
starting to tear up.
I give her a hug and we'll get to the bottom of it together.
Anya kind of nods. Yes, we have to. We have to do it for them.
Yep. We have to do it for them and for us.
Yes.
So, as this kind of conversation happens, you have this moment of quiet. So a bit of time passes before you all reconvene together, kind of discuss what to do before resting. Alright. So, if people need to, go ahead and register that a long rest will be had.
I'm overburning, so I did not rest.
That's fine. So I will say, as Anna, you spend time with Bernie and and your new follower. Kind of some of the generic kind of test seems to be done, and one thing you would note is as things kind of go on and Bernie is checking this person. At one point, the person, your friend, is requested to remove her armor to check and see if there's any underlying damage. As she goes to do this, as you kind of blink, there seems to be a momentary gap in your memory. As you would see her mostly covered up except for her back. And on your compatriot's back, you would see what appears to be a tattooed form of what appears to be a ever-ship.
I heard she's got a tattoo. I didn't hear it.
Okay. You would see on her back a tattoo of what appears to be an ever-shifting set of formations on her back that you would recognize as appearing to symbolize a labyrinth on her back.
I kind of point this out to Bernie and ask her, what is this?
Go ahead and give me a religion check.
Oh boy, I'm so good at this. Oh shit, I'm actually good at this.
So you would surprisingly, as you kind of take a look at this symbol, this ever-shifting labyrinth, in your kind of context of memory, you would know that labyrinth is associated with the Horned King. The Horned King is one of his titles. His true name is the Demon Lord Baphomet. The Prince of Beast, the Lord of Minotaurs, and other nasty beasts along like that. Straight from the abyss. And that tattoo is only shown on the most devout followers of Baphomet. Bahamut, I should say. No, Baphomet, yeah. So, judging by the ever-shifting tattoo on this woman's back, it's safe to assume that she is a devout follower.
I'm going to take a very deliberate step back and almost, not like draw my sword, but my scimitar, but my hand is going to be firmly on it at this point. My face is going to be a mix of surprise, disgust.
Yeah. You would know... Yeah, from what you remember about Baphomet, as well as he is a very notable presence, especially in the Blood War in Avernus, where him and a few other creatures from the Abyss kind of make their presence known. The most notable is him and Inogu, the Lord of Knolls.
I just kind of stare at Bernie and stare at this woman. And I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah, she's kind of staring at you. And she clearly sees your hand reach for a weapon, and you see that she has a hand reaching for something too, as kind of like a cautionary kind of this tense standoff. Bernie's just kind of sitting there, just kind of like in the middle of this, just like, I don't know what to do. Bernie's sitting in the middle of this little standoff, and she's pretty much just like, I don't know what to do in this situation.
I'm going to look at Bernie, realizing that she's here, and remembering the rules of the Emporium, kind of not completely take my hand off the scimitar, but I'm going to relax my grip to show that I'm not about to draw it, and just...
The woman pulls her hand away from the pocket.
I'm going to kind of cock my head to the side and look at her. Well, I feel for your plight of not knowing where you came from, but it doesn't seem like you came from a very good place, now did you?
She looks at you very confused.
I'm going to completely take my hands off my weapons and kind of cross them, just kind of looking her up and down and just... I know you can't communicate with us, but you can nod yes or no, right?
She nods.
If we were to help you out, can you remember everything? Will your loyalties go to what you remember, or to the people that saved you from the slaves? Nod if it's us, shake your head if it isn't.
She has a look of like she doesn't know how to answer that question.
That was a very complex question. Very hard to, kind of start scratching my head a little bit, just kind of out of frustration. It's a lot to ask out of somebody who doesn't realize what they've done. Kind of look at Barney and kind of look back at her. I'm very clearly torn as I look the woman dead in the eyes. As somebody has to help the helpless, I will help you, but seeing your dicey past, I will not allow you to continue what you did before. We will help you, but keep that in mind.
She just kind of looks at you very confused.
So, you figure anything out?
Outside of her allegiances, it seems like, I don't see anything else, just no physical harm or anything along those lines. It seems as though, she's just merely under the effects of the sticks.
Is this permanent, or will it eventually wear off and start getting away from it?
Well, judging by your friend Lulu, there might be a chance she will remember. There might be a chance she never does. It's hard to say.
I kind of cock my head to the side, looking at Bernie with kind of a really weird smile. Not a happiness, but almost like, I don't know how to describe it. It's definitely like a really off-putting smile that Anna does not usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey, I don't want her to remember it. I just want her to be able to communicate with part of this. If that's what her memories, I will not help her remember that.
I cannot say for sure if there is a way to get what you are asking for. The magics that affect the river Styx are tied together. So if she is able to learn how to recommunicate, she will remember her past. So, do with that with what you will.
Thank you very much for your help.
Of course. Just do be careful.
She kind of side eyes the woman, and you know I will.
Yeah.
I kind of look at. So by this point, she's pretty much. Never mind, I'll do this again. So is this pretty much all you can do? We're pretty much done here, my dear.
Yeah, unfortunately I do not have access to the proper magics to free her mind of the effects of the river Styx.
I kind of do the Hell Rider hand on the chest and just like bow and say I appreciate everything you do for us, especially in a place like this where everything has a price. Your selflessness sits with me, and I wanted to let you know just how much I appreciate it.
Mm.
Kind of cover her back up. I'm not going to be aggressive about it, but I'm definitely going to like grab her wrist and look at the woman, kind of with a mix of like, almost like Anna is internally conflicted on what to do.
Mm.
All right, I think it's time for us to go and meet up with the others, shall we?
Kind of wincing at how aggressively you're kind of grabbing her wrist. She
No,
kind
I
of...
said it wasn't. I said it wasn't aggressive. It was just fun. It wasn't aggressive.
Yeah, she still kind of winces a bit as she kind of nods as you head your way to meet with the others. As you're all kind of talking and reconvening, one thing of note you will notice is you're not the only guest at the Wandering Emporium at this time, as you would see kind of some of you would see wandering into the Emporium what appears to be two gnomish figures that seem to be kind of going around conversing with some of the people here in the Wandering Emporium.
I don't know if anybody else, like, you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah, you are.
Motherfucker. Hold on.
That was loud and clear.
Yeah, I love...
You're really quiet as well.
Yeah, Tess, you're like, super quiet.
Yeah.
My mouth is almost.
Yeah, like I'm...
Almost
Check your
hitting my
mic
mic.
input.
You might just have to turn your gain up.
Gotta get
Or
them...
check your mic input and see it's the right one.
Gotta get your gains, brother.
It is the right one.
But you're really quiet.
Motherfucking gains. Alright, let's see.
Okay, let me. How is that?
Let me flick that off, see if that helps a little bit.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do I sound alright on my end too?
so far, yes.
Okay. So, but yeah, what I was saying is as you're all reconvening, something of note you would notice is as you're all kind of like gathering together to figure out what to do, you would notice that there are some new faces within the Emporium, as you would see what appears to be two gnomish figures kind of making their way through the Emporium, kind of talking to people.
That's not something we see every day in Avernus.
Yeah, they're dressed in what appears to be a blend of kind of robes, but also a mixture of robes, but also there is a degree of... There's also like a utility belt that seems to contain tools.
Okay, what? You got out there.
Tools. As they seem to be conversing with a few of the... as they seem to be conversing with a few individuals in the area.
I don't like this. It's odd. Not saying something given where we are.
Don't like gnomes?
And it's odd to see people just wandering around talking to people with tool belts.
It's not like we've met everybody in the Emporium. We can go talk to them.
It's just Simon's existence. I don't trust people with tools.
Hey, I've yet to blow anything up so far in Avernus. It's been pretty okay.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
And I've tinkered with a lot of things. This car has, knock on wood, not blown up yet, so...
Should we go talk to them or should we avoid them?
I mean, they're like 3 feet tall, if that, so like, what damage can they really do?
I mean, we also can't fight here.
Ooh, don't say that.
Remember, that's Mahadi's one rule, no fighting.
Exactly, so they're not going to beat the shit out of us or anything. Even if they had the capability to, we're fine.
He does raise a valid point.
You're too worried about what could happen. All the bad things.
Davine's just gonna turn her head side
Hello?
and just blink. And then just walk towards the gnomes.
Alright.
One bad thing that's happened since we got here.
Finding out my parents sold me into a devil contract.
Name one bad thing that happened to me since we got here.
Then you go
Checkmate.
talk to them.
I
Alright.
will. They
Alright.
have tools. I have tools. We're already friends.
Alright.
Davine's gonna smack you in the head with with her tail.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fair. I was that was a little much.
Alright. So yeah. You approached the
You're
two...
echoing now, hon.
Yeah, you turned the gain up too much.
I didn't do...
No, well, that was he was echoing through me. I wasn't muted. It's coming through my speakers still.
I was about to go, I didn't do shit! Anyway. If anything, I turned myself down on the stream because I was peeking. So. You approach these two gnomes who are conversing with, seem to be conversing with, the forge, the salamanders at the forge, as they seem to get finished, talking to them. You would see these short rock gnomes, one male, one female, but you would notice that they share very similar features, like short red hair, freckles on their face, as well as very notable features that, like, kind of pair them almost similar outside of, like, the typical, dysmorphic features that come with being male and female. The woman seems to have more, like, mechanical tools that you would see that Simon might have on his belt, while the male seems to have more tools dedicated to what appears to be mining equipment. As you all approach the two, kind of look with smiles on their faces. The male kind of speaks up and goes, "Oh, we weren't expecting anyone else down here. We figured we just got a little lucky catching the wandering. We figured we just got a little lucky catching the Emporium.
You guys can't call it?
No. Every now and then we might find it for provisions, but we're for the most part just pretty alright."
This was like coin like super special.
You have a
This
you have a
coin is very special.
you have a coin to call the Emporium? It's rather useful.
I don't know if that was supposed to be a secret or not, but yeah.
Ah, well, ain't that swell? So
That's been super helpful.
I can imagine having instant service wherever you go is very useful. Wouldn't you agree, sis? As she kind of nods and goes, "It would be very useful, but we do keep ourselves very busy, so it's not like we need the. It's not like we would get much mileage out of that coin." Ah, fair enough. See, as the brother kind of nods at it, he kind of offers hands to offers his hands to shake, and he kind of goes,
I'll shake his little gnome hand.
Yeah, my name is Zook, and this is my sister Ella. What? Zook and Ella.
I like it.
Yes. We are. Funny enough, we came down here for Avernus to mine some of the local minerals that might be down here. You would be surprised, considering that the plane stretches for eternity, that there might be useful materials down here, like diamonds. Diamonds are very hard to get.
Can you get back to the material plane then?
Well, not really. We had the help from one of those one of those strange wizards that wear the red robes. I think the Thanes, they call themselves. After a little bit, we couldn't find the bastard, and then we just assumed he kind of left us. As they kind of just shrug. Oh well, more diamonds for us.
Yeah, real.
So we've been simply just trading what we can find with Mahadi in exchange for food and water and maybe a good place to shower every now and then. You'd be surprised how sweaty things get down here when you're literally surrounded by hellfire.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We do be stanking it up a little bit sometimes.
Ah! At least you have room to breathe. You should see what we're traveling in. Very cramped but cozy at the same time.
What are you guys traveling in? Because we got a whole ass war machine. It's actually been
That
pretty great. I didn't even...
Oh!
What? It's
What?
parked outside!
Yeah, with no hesitation, the female rock gnome grabs your hand, Simon, and just goes, "You seem smart enough to understand mechanics. Come with me." And she drags you along. As she was just like, "You seem to know mechanics. Follow me." And she grabs Simon and pulls him along. She is a lot stronger than she appears.
Okay, I'm going somewhere now.
Yeah.
We're following.
Yeah.
We're following.
Yeah, everyone follows. The brother kind of follows along as he kind of chuckles to himself, and the female artificer gnome is talking up your ear about all sorts of mechanics and stuff like that as they lead you to the edge of the Emporium, and you would find, and as they lead you to the edge of the Emporium, she shows you what appears to be a large machine. Oh,
You're still cutting out really bad there.
Yeah, you're so in and out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight someone. She leads you to the edge of the Emporium it's funny because Steam, OBS is picking me up. It's funny because I could see OBS picking me up. Discord seems to be the thing that's the problem.
It's funny because any other time you're in a PC, this is not a problem. It's only when we do this that this is a problem.
It's probably because I'm streaming the 3 different things just to get the
Probably.
It's probably because I'm streaming to 3 different things and that upsets Discord. But anyway, she drags you to the edge.
Turning off the music stream. Let's see if maybe that alleviates it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Sorry, no background audio for you. She takes you to the edge of the Emporium, and what you all see at first kind of startles you, as you would see at the edge of the Emporium, you would see the large form of what appears to be a land shark. A bullet. This large...
Did you say a land shark?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, this large, hulking form that seems to be sitting there, but as the gnomes kind of approach, you watch as the other gnome, she kind of lets go of your hand, approaches this thing, and she opens up what appears to be a side panel. And you watch as the back of the bullet opens up, and it appears to be a hollowed out mechanized machine that sits 2 people in there. And surprisingly has
This thing I've seen in Avernus yet.
and seems to have enough room to store, has a massive storage space. It seems like it has enough room for 2 pilots, and the rest of it is storage space where you see what appears to be a mixture of rough cut diamonds as well as diamonds that seem to have been polished together.
Con, check your Discord messages, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. As they Alright, give me just a second. Okay. I'm trying to get this figured out, I guess. Okay, let's see here. Okay, we'll give that a go here. So we have to start both. I'm gonna quickly switch this to a BRB real quick and we'll be right back as I get this audio issue figured out. Alright, we're gonna give this a try real quick as I had to figure that out.
Yeah, because it was really bad at some points.
But, yeah. So basically, yeah, you see this, what appears to be a bullet that they filled basically with mechanical parts. You would see towards the front where the head of the bullet is, seems to be a cockpit where the 2 seem to sit. Towards the back is a set of what appears to be storage compartments that seem to separate out, which seems to be, as the female gnome kind of begins to explain, it seems to be an elaborate system of separating out dirt from valuable materials, as it seems to have a self-filtering system where she explains that they use the machine to dig into the soil of Avernus, and it separates out valuable material from just the dirt, as it basically sets itself up to perpetually dig through the dirt and spit out useless material but keep useful material.
This thing's kind of ingenious, actually.
Is Bullet alive?
No, it is a very much dead bullet.
Okay.
So basically what it looks like is they took the skeletal structure of the bullet, so the bones and the bone plating of a bullet, and they basically filled it up with mechanics.
Nice.
Guys, this is the coolest thing I've seen in Avernus yet.
Is it cooler than the rock wizard?
There's a rock wizard?
Oh,
There's a dude that just rides around on a rock.
Yeah, he drives around on a rock and he calls himself mythology.
That's fucking cool.
And he speaks in riddles. Every time we've talked to him, he's just giving us these really cryptic answers to our questions, and then meteors rain, and we don't know who he is or why he does anything.
See, we gotta find this man now. As his sister just kind of looks very uninterested.
Oh, it's me and Sabine. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what. Sorry, hold on, give me a second.
He's dying.
Yeah.
Fix the audio issues. Now he's fucking dead.
Now he's just dying.
Yeah, I can't fix that one, guys.
Sag.
I told him he's not allowed to die.
I know, it's illegal. But, the two twins kind of look at each other and go like, admittedly, now that we don't have the Thayan to kind of make sure we get back from Avernus, it's nice to pilfer all this diamonds and stuff, but we, at some point, would like the ability to go back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you can find a way for us to get back to the material plane, we can help you out.
Sorry, Demon Dash is closed. We no longer accept errand quests.
No, it is not an errand. If you can figure out the way and get the hold of us, we offer our services.
If only there was a way to communicate with people from long distances, as I look pointedly at Savine.
Sabine just looks at her. Yes, I can send them a message if it comes to it.
I mean, alternatively, our goal is to get the city out. Can we just tell you to wait in the city and then we eventually move it back into the material plane?
Would they survive being in the city?
I
They
think
get up the
I
city with
asked.
the bullet.
it'll be fine. Oh, you're talking about the floating rock that's above the river Styx?
Rock is a
Yeah.
city called El Toro, yes.
That's a rock either way.
I like these guys.
I think we can get up there, potentially. We might have to leave our mechanism behind, and as he kind of says that, you see the female rock gnome kind of look very disappointed. But we could figure out the way to get up the chains, perhaps.
The chains will hurt you, by the way, intermittently. They
Who says we're going to climb it manually? We have this, as he pats the side of the bullet.
Well, I'm just saying, whatever you're going to be riding on might get hurt if you got, if it isn't fireproof.
It doesn't have... It lost its nerves a long time ago. It won't feel a thing. Might get a little toasty a little bit.
We're gonna
I
But
have faith in them.
in exchange, if you're willing to help us out, if there's a place in Avernus that you need to get to, we can get you there lickety-spec. Don't have to deal with any problems or anything.
You know your way around Avernus that well?
Yeah, of course. We've been to every location we can think of. As he pulls out a map, and quite literally, he has labeled different locations of note throughout, including locations you've been to: the Brambles, Tiamat's Lair, Arkan's Tower, Fort Knucklebone, where El Terrell is. Like, he has almost every location listed that you guys have heard of and not heard of.
But Avernus is constantly changing. How does this map work? Is it
Very.
also...
See, that's the trick. Avernus is never ending, but the landmarks stay the same. If you remember the landmarks and you believe hard enough, you might end up there. It's not like
some heart of the cards shit.
it's not guaranteed, mind you. It's not guaranteed. But there is a chance. And besides, when you're in this thing, as he kind of pats the bullet, making a wrong decision isn't always bad. Sometimes it's just simply going back on the ground.
Huh.
Besides, we don't usually interact with any of the things around here. Most things try to kill us. Demons try to kill us. Devils try to put us in chains. The followers of Tiamat try to kill us and steal our bullet and our diamonds and whatever we dig up. The only one that seems... About the only ones that are willing to trade with us are Mahadi, and everyone here as he gestures to the Wandering Emporium. Besides, they're very nice. Besides, they're very nice folk.
They are nice.
Well, do we have a deal?
Yeah, I'm sold.
Alright. Well,
They don't have any complaints.
I mean, I don't have any complaints.
Solid. Welcome, new gnome friends.
of course. They kind of offer you a shake and goes, alright. Well, we'll be around here for a little bit. If you need anything from us, just ask. We might be around to just make sure that the machine is fine. If you have a way to contact us, just simply send us a thing and we'll be on our way.
Good news, with long rest, we can prepare whatever we want.
No, we already long rested, so
Oh, this is after the rest? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, this is long after the rest.
Yeah.
My bad, I didn't need to rest because I didn't get hurt. So.
I just gotta figure out what I want to take it.
As the two twins kind of mount back up in their machine, they kind of give you a wave farewell as the back of the machine closes shut, as you can see the glowing eyes of the bullet activate as it begins digging into the soft earth of Avernus and almost in a scarily rapid way digs through the ground and makes its way through the soil fairly easily.
We should
Anna's
have
gonna
started.
kinda-
We should have started a bingo card for all the weird stuff we'd see in Avernus.
Anna's gonna kind of clear her throat. Speaking of weird things we've seen in Avernus, let's go to Mahadi's tent and talk somewhere private. I have something very important to talk about
With all
Alright.
of us?
with all of you.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of. I've been keeping like not a firm grip, but I've been either right next to the woman or like holding her wrist this entire time. So I'm gonna kind of like nudge her to go to what is it called? I don't remember. Mahadi's tent.
That's
The
right.
Infernal Rapture.
Yeah, the
Yep,
Infernal
Infernal
Rapture.
Rapture. That's right. And then as soon as we get in, I'm gonna kind of look at Mahadi and. Hello again, good sir. Do you have like a private room that we can just speak in? We don't need any services or anything, just somewhere quiet to talk.
He gestures to the normal areas that you guys rest up.
I just kind of nod my head and, with purpose, walk to the rooms.
Thank you, Mahadi.
Of course, my friends.
Give Mahadi a wave as we walk, as we follow Anna.
So, as soon as we get in, I'm gonna kind of gesture to the woman and, why don't you take a seat against the wall for a minute?
She kind of complies as she kind of sits in the corner of the wall.
Right. So, you know how I'm all about helping those that can't help themselves.
Except when you murder people. But sure, go ahead.
We have reasons. However, I think it's prudent, especially since Simon is considering his soul to help. She kind of like gestures with like an odd look. This woman. I feel it's very important to inform you guys that she is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh.
We bring her memories back, she will be a danger to us. Unless she suddenly changes her loyalties, which I highly doubt.
Okay, but what are her loyalties?
You ever hear of Baphomet?
Do I know Baphomet?
I mean, go ahead and give me a religion check just to see how much you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea if I know who that is. I'll do a religion check as well.
Yep, sounds good.
I have no fucking idea who that is.
I have an idea who that is.
I
Yeah.
got no idea, dude.
Yeah, you're not as familiar with beings from the abyss, but Sabine, yeah, you've heard of Baphomet, the different from Bahamut, which is the platinum dragon. Baphomet is the Lord of Beasts, who is one of the primary demon lords in the abyss. That, like I kind of stated earlier, is notable within the Blood War, as well as the other demon lord Inogu, the demon lord of Knowles.
So what are you suggesting we do with her?
Well, considering her state, we can't do anything to her. She has done nothing wrong in the state that she's in. However, I am concerned if we restore her memories, what she is capable of, and what she will do to us.
Okay, how do you know she's a follower of Baphomet?
His mark is on her back.
You undressed her?
Burning it.
I mean, for a while, I remember we had Tiamat's mark and we weren't followers.
This is a mark given to his most devout followers.
So what are you suggesting?
This is why I'm talking to you guys. I do not know what we do with this information. I have come to the conclusion that she we can't just abandon her. That would go against my moral code, despite what she's done beforehand. We just need to be very careful. And I wonder if perhaps Belle would have an idea of maybe if we can have her be an ally, or if she's somebody that we need to figure out. Because Baphomet is, as you know, pretty engulfed in this blood war. He would love to see Zariel down, but what he will do when she is down is another story. I don't know this. I know just from everything I've learned growing up that I have an extreme mistrust of these demon gods, even though we are asking for help from a couple of them, but we take allies where we can. It's just a matter of whether or not we can trust that her demon god wouldn't impede on what we're trying to do.
I feel like if we ask Belle for more help, it's going to want more.
Exactly. Which is why she looks very pointedly at Simon. You're not going to sell your soul to help her.
Oh, I wasn't going to anyway. I just like the idea of possibly tinkering for a long time. But he didn't tell me if I needed to be alive or dead, so that was the real kicker.
You'd probably be alive until he finds you not useful, and then he'd probably kill you.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario, but she kind of looks at the woman. Just be wary.
Taking her with us, or
That was going to be the next thing we needed to bring up, is with this potential. Do we keep her with us and help her, or do we perhaps see if Mahadi can find use for her?
we're just giving her to someone, we might as well just give a Belle to like George.
I'm gonna go to look at the woman and see kind of how she's looking right now.
She, for the most part, she seems to be kind of keeping an eye on you. She doesn't seem as tuned into the conversation, but she's very much like making sure that like no one is doing anything hostile towards her.
You know, Sabina, I think that's probably our best course of action.
I mean, it's a thought, we don't have to do it. I mean, like you said, be able to find use for her, but then that brings the thing, if we keep her around here and say maybe someone happens to come into the Emporium and help restore her memory, what if they want to do that?
We can't plan for everything, right? So, like, realistically, we have two options. We can help her and see if she'll help us, and if not, we deal with her. Or we leave her here and we hope she doesn't get, hostile later on, and if she is, we deal with her.
I mean,
I
third
think,
option is we just deal with her.
see, I would normally agree, but in the state she's currently in, I just...
It'd be like kicking the puppy.
It really would. And that doesn't sit right with me.
I like puppies.
I mean, puppies are cute and all. Until some grow up, get teeth, claws, and they attack you.
Which is why maybe...
That's not very fair to anybody. I mean, you can say that about anything, Look at how many
Puppies.
griffins are tamed, every day from eggs. Like those things could maim a human and kill them, but they're tamed. Not saying we're gonna tame this lady because that would be weird, and I wouldn't say that about a person. But like, general idea. We definitely don't need to murk her. I mean, I don't think that's the play.
I mean,
Side
if we're
idea.
walking by the sticks and she happens to fall in as we're there.
Side idea.
Imagine almost falling in the river Styx.
Side idea. We need all the allies we can get. Isn't that what you keep saying, Simon?
Yes.
What if we return this poor soul to him as a favor for him to help us out later?
You want to go find one of the demon lords Abyss in the middle of the blood war while we're trying to find the damn city out of here.
All right, right now you're cutting out.
Sorry.
It's all good. I didn't catch anything you just said.
I just said, so you want to go find a demon lord blood war when we're trying to get our city out of here.
No, actually, I think she's got a point. If this mark is for his most devout followers, like, he puts that mark on there, correct?
From my understanding.
So, like, he obviously gives at least some kind of crap about this lady. So, I mean, best case scenario, he helps us in the, big fancy Zariel fight. Worst case scenario, he says, alright, you saved side piece number 8, now leave,
Side piece.
I don't know what he does.
Oh my god.
But the lady's clearly look, she's toned, she's fit, like she clearly has some idea what she's doing. She's probably some kind of, combatant. So it can't really be all bad, I'm not saying that, we can convince her to be our buddy and, live in harmony with us. But maybe he will at least, abstain from the fight, if we give back one of his lieutenants or something.
So now you're trying to bargain to stop a demon lord fighting in a blood war.
Not to stop him from
Not
fighting
the blood
the blood
war,
war.
just the part that
Just-
we're involved in.
Yeah, just to keep him from hurting us.
Yeah, because I don't care about the blood war. I care about the bit where we fight the big scary dragon. Not scary.
No,
dragon,
no, we're not fighting Tiamat.
There's too many things to fight, and there's too many large things that can kill me. Okay. I don't
And
like it here.
Baphomet would be one less big scary thing to kill us if we took this. If we brought her back.
You do realize he might not be up here.
Well,
Which means we would have to go to the Abyss.
but his cult is here.
Why don't we just ask Mahadi? You probably know.
Oh my god.
Look, we can at least ask and get an idea. We don't have to do this idea, but we can at least get the information.
You guys can ask her if you want. I think this is a bad idea. Look what happened when we
Well,
went to
almost
Tiamat.
everything is a bad idea, except the part where you walked on a bridge and almost died. You were super okay with that idea, but like everything else has
You
been a
guys
bad
talked
idea.
me into walking on the bridge to test.
I asked the party if they would like to join. You were the one that did it.
I'll ask
got a
Mahadi.
point.
I'll ask Mahadi.
Go on then.
Alright. So, I take it you kind of get up and go outside of the private room to go find Mahadi.
Yes. I'll search for the Rakashakashuda man.
Yeah. You.
Talking Baba man.
I can't remember how it's pronounced. But
Rak-
the Rakashakudoodle cat man.
Rakshasha.
Rakshasha.
Yeah, you would find Mahadi. You would find Mahadi kind of sitting there, seemingly reading a book. As you kind of approach him, he kind of puts down. He kind of like continues reading his book, not looking up from it as he goes. Was there something you needed to know, Simon?
Yeah, so weird question. You wouldn't happen to know if Baphomet is here, would you? Like in Avernus, or if he's down in the spooky abyss part of Avernus?
Bahamut. No, Baphomet.
Yeah, the I think it's the Minotaur guy.
Yes, the Minotaur Lord.
Yeah, him. I don't really know a whole lot about him, at least. I learned about him 20 minutes ago.
I am very well aware of his presence, one of the demon lords of the abyss.
Oh boy.
I believe last I heard he was last I heard he led a expedition to board one of Zarya's flying fortresses. I'm not sure of the results about it, but if the rumors are to be true, he is, as far as I am aware of, he is active in the Blood War right now. Not as active as a Nogu, but he is active.
Would you have any idea how to fight?
You're seeking out... Hold on, you're seeking out the Demon Lord. That is a rather risky proposition to do.
Alright, I'm just gonna explain the whole thing. Okay, so we have that lady, the lady that like came with us. We don't actually know her. We found her on the edge of the river Styx. And turns out she's got a big old mark on her back, which is the mark of his devoted followers. So she could be a danger to us. We're not positive. So our idea is to take her back to him, because those marks are placed on them by him personally. It's kind of a shtick, apparently. And to say, hey, we brought you back one of your besties, and you can either help us in the Zariel fight, or please just not beat us while we're in that fight. And that's the plan.
He kind of like looks at you, kind of with this blank expression, and he kind of goes, I mean, that is a plan, but I would suggest not dealing with demon lords. They are, devils, granted, I can understand the mortal's apprehension to deal with the devil, but the demons are not exactly the most trustworthy thing. Demons are chaotic in nature. Chances are Lord Bahamut would see you and your compatriots, and he would either think to kill you, to have his minions kill you, or he would think you're a free food, or free, how can I put this in a appropriate way? He's not exactly someone that would be what you would call very trustworthy in terms of his deals. Even if you bring back a devoted follower of his, I don't think that would be a good idea. If you want my opinion, then of course. Chances are he might be grateful. There's a chance he might just simply kill you for showing up. There's a simple chance that he strips you of all of your armor and you're his next meal.
Valid.
It's hard to say with demon lords. They are as wishy-washy as they're as wishy-washy as most beings that come from the abyss. If you want,
I was really hoping he'd be like reasonable. We got Bell on our side, so it's kind of when we just get more.
devils are a lot more reasonable than people tend to think. Demons, not so much. One minute they might ask for something mundane, the next minute they might ask for your firstborn child for them to eat. It's hard to say. They are chaotic beings by nature. They are not bound to strict rules and regulations. They are the epitome of madness. That is why the devils fight them in the Blood War, to hold back the madness that the other planes refuse to deal with. There is a reason why there is not celestial intervention. It's because the devils do all the hard work that the celestials are too uncomfortable to recognize or deal with. They don't have to deal with beings that are misshapen or misformed, or don't play by simple rules of common decency or etiquette. Of course, this is simply my opinion, and I am giving you this insight as not only are you valuable customers, but I do consider you somewhat closer than associates. So I want to make sure that your survival in Avernus is at least possible to some degree.
Oh, I appreciate that, friend.
Of course.
Or at least close to friend, if that's what you want to say.
I would consider us friends, but I didn't want to put a label on our relationship. I didn't want to make any of you feel pressured that we were more than just associates.
Nah, we're buddies. I like you. You're good people. We're good being. I don't know if people's the right word. But yeah, you're cool. You're fine. It's good.
I'll take people. It depends on your definition of a person, but I would like to think I am a person.
Out of character, it feels weird to be politically correct in Avernus.
You're
out here like, yeah.
This is an evil.
I have no idea.
This is an evil plane, but it's still lawful.
What are your pronouns?
Well, they don't give a shit about pronouns.
Properly, what are your pronouns?
They don't give a shit about pronouns. It's just more so the distinction between devil and demon, because that's like, because again, like Mahadi said, devil and demons are two vastly different things. That's like comparing. That would be like comparing, in Mahadi's eyes, comparing a devil to a demon would be like comparing a human to a rat.
Damn.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In Mahadi's eyes, obviously, if you were to ask him more in depth. Because, again, the beings of the Abyss are very, again, chaotic in nature. There's no order, there's no things. But with devils, there's at least order. There's at least a structure. So...
Oh, I understand now. That's why they're doing the whole fight thing.
Yeah, because, again, it's the difference between... Do you want to deal with evil but structured, or do you want to deal with something that's like, one minute you might grow a tentacle out of your asshole, the next minute you're eating your firstborn because they smelled like bacon? Like, that's...
Jesus Christ.
Man, if somebody heard that, like, out of context,
Hey,
shit.
Well, that's literally the epitome of chaos in the Abyss. Like, you grow random bits, you are insane, basically, and you're just like... There's no decency, there's no order, it's pure chaos.
Somebody clip that on his Twitch.
I don't give a shit, they can clip it.
Oh, no, I'll clip it tomorrow. I have to go back and clip the rules interrupting the series.
Yeah. The little elementals being a little funny like us.
The little tin whistle. Woo woo woo! I'm gonna go clip
really
both.
good.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
clip both of those tomorrow.
But yeah. Mahadi just kind of gives you a nod after that and just kind of goes... Again, you must forgive me. I do have a bit of a biased view on things, but I simply only tell you because I wish for your survival to be longer. Dead customers don't do me any good.
Fair. But also, I appreciate it. That's why I came and asked you.
Of course.
Appreciate you giving me an actual opinion.
Of course. I mean, if I didn't have the right to think on my own, then I wouldn't be a good merchant.
I'm gonna go relay this information to everybody else. Thank you, friend.
Of course. If you need anything, simply ask.
Will do.
Yeah. As you head back to the room, you relay everything, the conversation between you and Mahadi, the differences between devils and demons, and kind of Mahadi's take on finding Baphomet and dealing with him.
Yeah, so long story short, he says it's possible. Kind of a shit idea. In all honesty.
Okay. Well, yeah, no. After the way he put it, yes. It does sound like a shit idea, and it sounds like a really bad gamble that is not worth it.
It's also me as the DM not having to look up like 3 different pages on what the fuck a Baphomet would be doing in Avernus.
Could you give him a whole extra session worth of work? He's like, oh god, I wasn't ready for this.
No, I would deadass have to open a completely different module to find Baphomet and what he's doing in Avernus.
Right, so...
And you guys are not the level for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, first things, we actually should probably head to Red Ruth to get her to do the seeing thing for the Citadel, so we can finally get this damn sword. Again,
You're correct, madam.
I'm still of the mindset that we could just be done with her.
We can always just give her the bell.
And do you want us to do that if you were in that state?
Yes.
Okay, well, never mind. I want to talk to you.
Jesus.
I wasn't ready for that part, I guess.
So follow me. It would gain favor with him. We tell him that she's a devout follower. That incentivizes him to maybe revive her memories, so he can interrogate her on how to best beat Baphomet, or at least get something to give him a leg up on her.
Just put a pin in it for now and go see Ruth. So we're gonna have to go see her anyway, because...
The only reason I bring it up is because Bella is, and I point at the direction of the forge, right here.
Oh yeah, that's fair. We are like right next to that.
We'll just go in and say, here, have a toy.
We could go ask him first instead of just handing him this random human and saying, hey, this is a follower of a demon. Have fun.
I mean, I think just drop and dash, if you ask me.
Then how are we going to keep our 5-star rating on Demon Band? I worked hard for this, damn it. I had to pick up the stick of truth out of the woods and the field to talk to the troll bridge to get the treant lady's house to go into Red Ruth's villa. I worked hard to get here. I don't think one drop and dash is gonna do much to our rating, if I'm being honest, Simon. Oh, I'm so sorry. One day I'll have a serious campaign. It's not today.
Right, and I would rather a devil be able to handle her than us try to handle a devout follower of a chaotic demon. And I feel like putting her on Mahadi at this point would probably be a bad idea as well, because we've built business relations with him. Might put it that way. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, we might as well just give her the bow and he can do what he wants. Point. Maybe she's got family members that she can sign in the contracts.
We can at least go talk to him.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of reach my hand out to her and pull her up.
Yep. As you kind of pull her up, she just kind of looks at you very complex.
Alright, let's go. I'm gonna start pulling her out, wave to Mahadi, and say thank you for everything. We'll see you next time.
See you around.
Oh yeah, Mahadi called me a friend, by the way, so that was pretty sweet.
I mean, aren't we friends?
I thought we were friends.
Yeah. With Mahadi, I mean.
Yeah. But... No, like with he called like Mahadi and I friends, like he thinks we are his friends. That's what I'm saying.
Do you want to be friends with him?
I mean, he seems like a good dude. I don't mind being friends with him. Why do you not want to be friends with Mahadi?
No, I was just asking. It just seemed you were a bit shocked that he considered us friends.
I'm just kind of shocked anybody in Avernus is like chill with us, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's fair. It is Avernus.
All right, let's go back to Bell.
Alright.
Rebellion.
Alright, so
Belly man.
you make your way over to Lord Bell as you make your way over to the forge. You would find again the forge is kind of open up to you as again a similar sight of fire giants constantly forging together as Bell kind of sits there seemingly surprised that you returned to him, as he kind of sits there and kind of looks at you from his seat, not really saying anything as you enter in.
So, Belle. You remember we brought this woman in earlier and talked about capabilities and all that fun stuff?
Yes.
What if I were to tell you she's a devout follower of Baphomet?
I am very much aware of her allegiances.
But could you do something with that?
He kind of looks at her as he kind of seems to think about it for a moment. He just goes, outside of making use of her for the forges, nothing currently comes to mind. My focus isn't dealing with Baphomet, as it seems Lady Zariel has her focuses more on a different Lord of the Abyss. Her focuses seem to be more on the forces of Enogu that fills the recent swelling of ranks in the abyssal armies.
So what are the odds if she gets her memories back that she tries to beat the hell out of us?
I cannot say for sure. It would depend on how devoted she is to him. Because one...
Not like super devoted, like has a big old brand on her back.
More than likely, she would sacrifice you at the first opportunity she got.
So would you like to have her for the forge? She's very compliant. She will do whatever you want. She's not going to argue with you. She seems pretty tall and athletic. Seems like she could work her way around the forge.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
I still don't like leaving this lady here. This doesn't feel right.
Oh, that's not a good roll.
Bell kind of looks at you as you kind of do this pitch as he just kind of goes, I wouldn't trust one of the servants of the Horn Lord, and if she is as devoted as she appears to be, Brett carrying his mark so openly on her, I wouldn't trust that once she got her memory back, she wouldn't cause me complications.
Kind of nods a couple times with her, like doing the whole like thumb and finger on her chin. That whole thing. Fair point. Just figure out us. Well, that's all we came in here this time for. Alrighty.
Yeah, she's kind of like looking at, like, as you kind of go to grab her, she like pulls her hand away from you, and she's very much looking at you like someone that stares at someone that is no longer an acquaintance, but rather someone that is hostile towards her.
We don't know if we can. I also don't want to. That feels mean.
She's gonna
grab her and take her out of the forge.
She's gonna pull away.
Ooh, hang on. I don't think I need my very good spell. The thing with the thing.
Well, just saying we need that ferryman spell to get back across the river distance and get to our car.
Well, we got the gnome people who said they can take us anywhere. They could take us across the river. I'm assuming they can take us across the river.
That's a bold assumption.
And he's not answering, so I'm going to say probably not. Hang on.
I mean, that depends on how much you're willing to believe how deep the river Styx is.
Yeah, that's probably a bad idea. Can I cast command on her?
You most certainly can.
Okay, I'm gonna cast command on the lady.
Alright, what save does she need to make?
Wisdom.
Yeah, no, you see the spell take effect.
I'm gonna tell her to approach.
This feels like the wrong way to go about this.
She approaches. Who are you telling her to approach?
I'm having her approach me. So basically, it's just a one word. So I'm gesturing for her to approach me.
Yeah, she approaches you.
There. Now she'll leave.
What?
Now she'll leave because she has to follow what I say.
The spell, you notice as soon as she completes the order for the approach, her mind is her own, and she kind of stares at you.
I'm gonna look at her and be like, this is for your own good.
I still feel like we're doing this the wrong way. I like that we're just dragging this poor woman around, trying to pawn her off on people.
I'm going to kind of put my finger up at Simon's mouth and be like, what?
Alright. I'll make note of that. I'm very much making note of this. Alright, so, where are you guys wishing to go?
I say we go to the river.
Yeah.
Alright, so you make your way to the river. Do you use your usual way to get across, or?
No, we're not going across, we're just going to the river.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're gonna go to the river.
idea earlier?
He had the terrible also lead to you possibly dying as well.
I kind of nod towards the river and kind of look at her.
Wait, you actually want to push her in the river?
Anna's just gonna stare at her.
That seems like a horrible idea.
I know I suggested it, but I didn't. Like, we shouldn't actually shove her in the river.
You don't know that.
She's a danger.
And also, what if you
She
try
was
to push
already-
her in the river and she grabs you and tosses you in or drags you in with her? And then
Can I
you're in
cast
this thing
command
that
on
she is.
on Anna?
Yep, sure, I'm more than welcome to.
I'm gonna cast command on Anna.
Alright, and I need a wisdom saving throw for me.
That's my lowest one. This is great. Hold on, wait. Hold on. I gotta look at something.
NPC, tearing the party apart.
Oh, nope. Alright.
And I'm gonna say halt.
Yep. As Anna, you suddenly find yourself stopping where you're at.
I'm gonna turn to the woman and just go, run.
She's gonna book it. As
Yeah, that's also valid.
Anna, you watch as she just quickly just starts booking it. Do you...
I'm just gonna stare at Sabine, greatly annoyed.
As the woman books up.
Be safe.
So we let a devout follower of a chaotic demon go and, you know, join his cause once she regains her memory.
You might not make it back to him. This way, at least she's not swimming in the river.
Anna's gonna kind of look towards where the woman's running and kind of around, and she just shrugs and looks at Sabine and says, "You know, fair point."
Alright.
Well, the red roof.
Yeah.
Red roof.
Good.
Anna's gonna start. Anna's gonna just kind of just do a smile and kind of shake it off, look like nothing just happened.
You're gonna cast the ferryman spell so we can get across the river.
Hell yeah.
I love fairies.
A little ferry. Yeah. As you summon the ferryman and make your way across, as you're making your way across, eventually you get back to the war machine. You would find you would find everything's fine. The usual Lulu kind of sitting back with the war machine to kind of keep an eye on it. She seems kind of happy as you all approach.
Wait, did we leave Lulu with the war machine?
She
We
was,
sure did.
yeah, she was, yeah, she was vibing with it.
Okay, alright.
She kind of seems to do a head count and realizes that the woman wasn't with you, and she kind of seems a little sad.
I wave at
For the
Lulu.
best.
Hey, did you miss us?
Yeah, I was starting to get a little worried.
Well, we're all good. We're going to Red Roofs now.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
It's
get a little
alright.
more enthused, Lulu.
I mean, it'll get
That's a
us.
valid reaction, I think.
It'll get us to where we need to go, I guess. Just, yeah.
Anna's gonna just jump in the war machine like it's another day.
We ride.
We ride.
Mad Max time.
Let's see if let's See if you're as lucky making your way through Avernus, because I swear to God, if I'm because I'm starting to think the dice are just rigged, because they're just like, no. I wish my loading screen wouldn't wig out on me too. That'd be nice. I don't know what it is with Foundry. It really hates this module for whatever reason when it comes to changing scenes, because I've run this with everyone else and my scene swapping works fine. It's just this particular module that it's upset with. And I do not know why. Maybe it's just a funny little guy. Who knows? Holy shit.
We get lucky again?
I'm gonna roll it again. Okay, that's more believable. Alright.
No. Wait, hold up. I don't know if the first die roll was good or not.
Yeah, what are you saying? Nah.
I will just ride with what happens.
So, as you're driving along, you would see that as you're making your way to the as you're driving, making your way to the bramble branches, something catches your eye. As you're continuing driving, you would see what appears to be stones jutting out of the Avernus, from the Avernus landscape, and you would see jutting out of this rubble, you would see what seems to be a relatively, albeit damaged, but for the most part, relatively intact war machine.
Is it time to loot another war machine, Simon? Oh god damn it, that was gonna be a fun moment.
How dare he?
Can we see if there's anything around the downed war machine?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Can I can't just use my
cancer? You take a look around, and the war machine seems to not have anyone near it.
Okay. No, like, thing, person, demon,
Nope.
devil.
Nope, it looks like the war machine was damaged and abandoned.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Alright, I gotta do a couple of rolls real quick. As you approach it, you would see that the war machine in question appears to be one of the infernal war bikes that seems to have been kind of damaged. And as you approach it, as you're gonna approach it, you would see that it seems to have outside of the extra damage, you would see this kind of strange green ichor that drips from the war machine that seems to be leaking out of the engine compartment as well as the exhaust port.
Huh. Simon, you missed a moment.
We found a downed war machine, so we're investigating.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's actually an infernal war bike.
Yeah, no. So we found it, and I was like, Simon, we gonna loot another war machine? And I was met with silence.
I'm sorry I had to use the list.
How fucking dare you?
You're right. Next time I'll just go.
Just piss.
Piss your pants.
As long as we have an understanding.
Prolonged eye contact.
Anyway, looting.
Yes, loot.
Yeah, so outside of the strange kind of green gump that comes from the engine of the war machine and the spout, you would see, for the most part, the engine of this war machine seems to have what appears to be embedded into the intake, two embedded runes that in Infernal read as a boost. And for the most part, it seems like whatever damage was done to the engine, the machine the war bike seems to be operational to a degree, but it looks like it will need some long-term repairs if you want it to be sustainable.
Can I tell what this goop is?
Sure, give me an Arcana check.
I'm not doing well.
You take a look at the goop, and you kind of like stare at it, and it looks like, to you, it looks like some sort of strange, like, ichor. Maybe it's an experimental form of fuel. You're not sure.
Alright, so I don't really want to make repairs on it in the middle of nowhere, but I don't know if we have the space to haul another. I mean, it's a bike, but like, I don't know if we
I
have
mean,
the
do we need it? Do we really need a bike?
We don't need it, but it might be helpful. And if this is like a neat prototype with these boost runes, we may be able to get away with not having to use a soul coin to, boost ourselves.
Except we can't all fit on the war bike, Simon.
The wheels intact on the bike?
I
Like-
might be able to convert the boost technology onto our war machine.
Outside of most of the, the bike seems relatively intact. It's just more so, like, don't expect it to survive a long haul. Like, you could, in theory...
Yeah.
So,
Tie it to the back of our war machine with rope and drag it to the bramble patch.
you could do that. You could do that. That is an option.
Would it make it to the bramble patch if one of us drove it?
Probably.
You gotta find out. FAFO?
There's enough fuel in it to get you to the Ramble Patch. If anyone wishes to drive it.
I think we should take it with us, because, worst case scenario, I can try to figure out what this boost is and what this other ichor is, and maybe make our war machine faster. Be pretty sweet.
Alright.
Tie it to the back of the machine and drag it behind us.
But then it might be broken.
Okay, well, somebody's gonna have to drive it.
I also drive the war machine. I can drive the bike.
Then who's gonna drive the war machine?
That's why I just asked if anyone could drive the war machine.
Anna's gonna kinda look curiously in the driver's seat and look at Simon. Is this hard to drive?
Really, a little bit clunky to start, but you can probably get the hang of it.
She's gonna kinda look back at the driver's seat, then kinda look back at Simon. A little hint of a smile. Almost like a kid giving a new toy.
Alright, worst case scenario, it doesn't work, dump the bike and I get back in the driver's seat. This will be fine.
I'm gonna hop in the driver's seat.
Alright. So,
Look, I didn't know what I was doing like 3 days ago when we started this, so...
Anna's in the driver's seat of the war machine. Let's go.
alright.
I'm up. Pick up this
So,
bike.
yeah, Simon, you find that the keys are in the ignition, and as you kind of rev it up, there's a moment where the engine kind of sputters, but then you hear it roar to life as the souls of the damned from its engine begin screaming and howling, as the war bike seems to be good to go.
Alright.
As you
Put on my goggles and get ready to go.
Yeah. As you begin pulling out and you begin driving, one of the most immediate things that becomes apparent to you as you begin driving the war bike is the Demon Grinder makes a lot of smoke. Because it's a big vehicle. Big vehicles produce a lot of emission. This war bike, whatever was done to it, or maybe the Icar itself that's running through it, makes the war bike emit the same amount of emission, as smoke is billowing out of this bike from both the exhaust and the engine itself. As you find some of the smoke blowing into your direction, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. I love it here.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Boy.
You're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, no, you're fine. As you're able to kind of like find a nice angle to keep your head down as the smoke is billowing from this thing every so often, wafting into your face, but you very much know not to breathe it in and everything. And as you get a feel for the engine, you would realize that the two runes on the engine, as they kind of shimmer and glow, they kind of sing to you a bit as you become more and more in tune with the bike as you're driving to the brambles. You would see that the runes embedded into the engine appear to be two souls that are bound to the war bike itself. And these two souls bound to the war bike seem to be, you have an option to burn the souls bound to them, and they will give the bike the same effect as a soul coin, from what you've gathered.
I should attune to this bike while driving it.
Yeah, you get a feel for the bike.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, so mechanically, yeah, you get two free soul coin boosts out of this thing, but every time you drive it, you will have to make a con save as the smoke bellows into your face.
The goggles saved me. The goggles gave me the power to muscle through. You get my eyes.
Yeah. As you're driving through, you eventually make your way back to the brambles. I would say you easily find your way back through the maze, as I could have you roll, but there's not really a point in that.
No, we found the stick of truth with the troll, remember?
Exactly. Exactly. So, kind of, with the guidance of the stick of truth, you make your way through the bramble bush, where you would find the nice fetid cave of Red Ruth, as you would notice the dryad spirit bodies that once inhabited outside the cave have been removed. But you would notice that there seems to be a new pile of firewood outside of the house. As you kind of make your way to the cave, you would see that I assume you kind of like knock on her door out of courtesy and just go to let her know that you're here.
Yep.
Yeah. So you knock on the door. The door is opened by the towering form of Red Ruth, covered again in her humanoid skin things, are skin cloaks. A large toothy smile greets you as she speaks the necklace, the small children's skulls on her neck, singing incoherent songs in different languages as she talks to you all with this smile and goes, "Oh, my dears, you're back. How has your trip in Avernus been?"
Been pretty cool.
Good.
I tend to not recommend.
Oh, I know the neighborhood isn't exactly what you would call keen, but it's got a few nicks and turns to deal with, my dear.
Just call Avernus the neighborhood. That's funny as fuck.
Come, my dears. I've got a nice soup ready if you're hungry.
Me immediately shakes her. Me immediately shakes
She
her.
kind of leads you guys in. You guys would smell what smells like the smell of pork fill this house.
Okay, meta knowledge, not good.
I don't like it.
I do love me some bacon.
She kind of gives you all a smile and goes, "Is there anything I can do for you, my dears? Or are you just coming for a nice visit and some tea? I could get something ready for you if you're hungry or thirsty, my dears."
We're not thirsty, but we did bring you blood.
Oh?
Specifically to divine the citadel. So we can get the sword and do the thing.
Oh!
Someone just gone on. I forgot about that.
I kind of did too.
All right, my dears. I remember my cousin mentioning that you were looking for that favor, but
I had to check my notes while we were here, to be honest with you.
we will see if it's truth or not, my dears. She kind of goes over to her pot. As you would see, she kind of empties some of the contents into. She kind of grabs the contents of it, and you would see what appears to be this strange kind of chest. This kind of strange circular chest, similar to a cauldron, but more shaped like an actual chest. As she kind of like taps the side of it, you see eyes kind of form out of the chest as it looks up at her. The opening opens its mouth up wide enough as she pours the contents of the soup into this chest-like thing, as it kind of, its large tongue kind of saps up the bottom of the cauldron and lowers its mouth back in as it closes shut. You hear a low, soft purring coming from this chest as it seems to emanate a small bit of heat.
It's not D&D without a mimic.
As she kind of makes her way and she grabs what appears to be random bits and bobs, you would see she kind of fills up the cauldron with some liquids that you're best not asking, as she throws what appears to be a mixture of different ingredients, as she seems to be, for those who are inherent casters, she seems to be performing some sort of divination spell. As she kind of stirs this along, humming to herself. She hands out her hand kind of extends out and she goes, "I need the blood, and if you have any significant markers for me, it would be easier to track down the citadel with such a thing."
Define marker.
Got that brick.
"A brick, you say? Mind if I see it, my dears?"
Yes, it needs gonna pull out the brick that Belle gave them.
Yeah, and she kind of takes a look at it, and you see it's this kind of pure, almost marble-like brick. As you watch as, even when she goes to touch it, you watch as her skin burns a bit as she drops it to the ground for a moment. She goes, ah! Ooh, yeah, that's definitely divine in nature, my dears. Flybeth! As she calls out, and you see this small, kind of like, little creature kind of descend from the ceiling as it looks like a little, like, crab-like creature similar to the thing she walked on, but it also has those eyes and mouth similar to the chest you just saw open up, as it crawls its way off the ceiling, makes its way over to the brick, and like wraps its tongue around it as it makes its way over to the cauldron and just throws itself into the cauldron. Ah, perfect. Thank you, Flemeth.
Effective little guy.
They are quite useful indeed. As she kind of like stirs it, you see Flemeth's little head kind of poke out for a moment of the soup before diving back in. As she gestures and goes, the blood now, my dear. I need that for the final extraction, of course.
Oh yeah, here you go.
Yeah, she take.
What was blood? I don't remember.
I don't know who has the blood.
Whoever
Someone
has
has the
Either way,
blood.
let's-
Yeah, whoever has the blood, whoever's the most responsible of the group has the blood, I assume.
Okay, so I.
Fuck the most
You have the blood.
So,
Simon 100% has the blood.
that's the question. See, that's the question I will always ask: is who's the most responsible of the group? Whoever's the most responsible of the group has the important quest items. So, she takes the blood and she kind of like sniffs it and she kind of goes, rather spicy. And she kind of like pours it into the cauldron as you watch as the cauldron goes from a clear liquid to this deep red, crimson red, as she kind of stirs for a moment. As she begins stirring it, you will watch as the mixture of items begins kind of dissolving into this crock pot, as different smells of herbs to rot to almost what smells like sweetness, like honey, fills your nostrils. These different smells and sensations as the different things seem to meld together before finally a brew seems to be formed as she takes what appears to be a bowl etched with runes, as she kind of mutters to herself what appears to be arcane words as she dips the bowl into the broth. And as she lifts it up to her mouth and begins drinking deep. Begins drinking like someone hasn't had water in over months. And as she drinks it, there's a momentary pause as you watch as she grows statue still. The color on her face distorting to her normal green turns almost palish. Her eyes roll in the back of her head. And a momentary silence fills as she mutters to herself. At first, none of it making sense. But she begins muttering words that you all begin to understand. As she begins constantly repeating to herself, past the mall where the giant is kept, a large gate will take you to the effect. The breeding citadel lies on the other side. And be wary, for the Lord of Lies knows. As she kind of mutters this, you see within the broth itself, almost as she utters this incantation, words almost pouring out of her mouth as visceral blood almost seems to pour out of her mouth into the broth. You begin to see pictures forming. You would see what appears to be a chasm where a large giant chained to rock is screaming profanities. As for those who understand, does anyone here understand giant or abyssal?
I understand abyssal.
I think I might have a abyssal, actually.
Oh, I have abyssal.
I got a rock.
Have a rock.
For those,
Just watch him really.
yeah, for those who don't understand,
Actually, not.
for those who don't understand giant or abyssal, at first, for those who understand abyssal, you would hear him mutter to everyone at first. He is muttering words, but those who can understand abyssal, you understand that this figure is screaming a name, and he's screaming a sentence. In between his convulsions of screaming in a language you don't understand, you understand the words he screams in abyssal. He screams the name Zariel. And the second phrase he screams is, "Free me, you bitch."
Oh, okay.
I was wrong. I have primordial, not abyssal.
I like this guy already.
Simon, oh yeah, no, Simon understands this.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I'm just
The-
looking at it.
No, I think I'm the only one who. Yeah, I'm the only one who understands the abyssal.
Yeah.
Simon just, for some reason, suddenly likes the guy. He's like, I don't know why, but he seems like a good guy. I don't know.
The last...
We had someone who understood giant.
Yeah, the last thing you see as this figure screams is it cuts to what appears to be this large, ornate gate made out of jetted black rocks that extends almost into the air. This structure made out of this stone extending about hundreds of feet into the air, seemingly resting in the middle of nowhere. And as this thing comes into form, you would see, as this thing flashes, you would see a brilliant sight. Something you've never seen in Avernus before. A large structure, almost a castle, a fortress that stands surrounded by this fleshy surroundings that Avernus's land is made of. You see a shining marble citadel standing proudly in the middle of Avernus. Though you watch as the land itself bleeds, touching this fortress, but something of note is you would see is even though the land of Avernus bleeds, it is slowly dragging this beautiful, pristine marble fortress ever so slowly into the ground, inch by inch. And the vision fades as Red Ruth comes back to her senses. You see as she kind of coughs out as she seems to cough out what appears to be the small mimic that ran in there, and she kind of goes, "I told you, my dear, not to get stuck in my ladle. I could have eaten you on accident. Go!" As she kind of shoos the little mimic away as it kind of skitters its way out of the cauldron, kind of looks at you all before it's kind of skittering back upstairs where you know the guest bedrooms are.
Huh.
Those things are cute.
It's hard to foster good little companions. It's ever so lonely here. Why, I enjoy your presence, my dears. As she kind of gives you this large, toothy smile. It's very unsettling. But you have gotten what you need. You hold knowledge that not many other creatures in Avernus is aware of, my dears. The location of the Bleeding Citadel. Well done. I suggest you go before it seems to be slowly eaten up by the land itself. Seems like you're on a time limit.
Oh god. Let's go. Yeah, I guess we better go.
As you all kind of head out, she kind of waves and goes, "Farewell, my dears. Safe travels."
Always
Thank
like to
you.
Thank you.
All right.
So Simon, are you taking the bite?
Probably not, I would guess, because it's probably gonna like.
Yeah,
Not
probably not take it with us.
I
Okay.
think it's not gonna last the trip, and I don't know if I have enough time to sit here and like tinker enough with it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't sound like we do that. Right. Does it have like you know how like a lot of like motorcycles and stuff have like side bags and stuff on it?
What are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to see if the war bike has like stuff.
No. Outside of the stuff I told you about.
Okay, cool. Get in the war machine.
Alright. Do you want to leave your war bike here, or do you want to tow it along?
I'd like to take it, but I don't think we're really going to have the opportunity to, realistically. So
Yeah,
I'll probably
because
just.
once we get to this Bleeding Citadel and like destroy it or whatever we're gonna do with it, it sounds like we're not back to help us. So
Alright. So, gathered into your war machine.
Do we have any idea where we're going? Not to cut you off, but like I just realized, do we know if any idea where we're going?
we had a whole vision.
Yeah, but like we saw the giant, but do we know where he is?
If it is a giant that we took the blood from.
No. This is a completely different giant.
Oh, then I have no idea.
Yeah, so do we have a direction?
If you make mention to it, Lulu will make a remark about her remembering something. As you seem to kind of, seemingly she kind of makes a remark about she knows where the Bleeding Citadel is.
Okay. Let's share with the class, Lulu.
She kind of goes, orders to get to the Citadel, we need to pass by the chasm. Just before the chasm, passing through the chasm will lead us through a pathway that will lead us to a gate that I assume that Asmodeus himself covered up. But if we wish for it to lead to if we ask for it to lead us to the Bleeding Citadel, it should take us there almost immediately. It doesn't matter where in Avernus or where in the Nine Hells it is. If we can get to that gate, let it know where we need to go, it will take us there immediately.
Alright. So I assume you know where this chasm is, Lulu?
Yeah. She kind of seems a little... She seems she's aware, but there's a level of apprehension. If who I think is down there is still down there, he's not going to be happy to see me.
Who did you piss off? Or what did you piss off, I should clarify.
It's not what I pissed off?
That's what Zariel pissed off.
She nods.
Oh boy, alright.
There might be a demon lord down there.
Oh. Is it a Nogu?
No, not a Nogu.
Is it Baphomet?
No, not a Baphomet.
Then who is it?
It's a giant. I couldn't remember his name. All I remember was he was trying to kill Zariel after everything, and he said some very questionable things, and Zariel didn't take too kind to that and put him down there. I think she took his hammer. Yeah, he kind of gives me the ick. I think that's what mortals call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said the very. You know, I'm not gonna repeat it.
What did he say? Whisper it to me. She kind of lays down so Lulu can whisper it to her.
She like very cautiously whispers, and he because I'm not going to repeat it.
No.
I'm not going to repeat it. The TLDR is he said some very degrading things about Zariel as a woman, and what he is going to do to her if he kills her.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Demon lords, they're fucked up.
As Lulu says this, you kind of just see Sabine's face gradually go from like, because she thought it was going to be something like not this. You watch her face gradually change from a little grin to like slowly dropping, and she's just deadpan like, oh.
Yeah, like this is like even some of the shit that like your god is like, that's not okay. That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm. I just hear like Leviathan in the back of my head. That's fucked up.
Hey, Con.
Hi.
Send it to me in a message.
I'm not going to.
Fine, I'll Google this shit.
It's
Don't
not gonna be.
Might get spoilers.
It's not gonna be in Google. It's just, it's something to do with demon lords that I've noticed is a general theme with demon lords.
So, Lulu.
Yes.
How is he going to react to seeing a party of most women approach?
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Maybe if we let... I don't know. Maybe if we let him out and just ignore him, he might leave us alone? I don't... As long as we get to the gate, that's the important bit.
Alright.
If I know my demons and devils well, if he's that pissed off with Zariel, he's gonna be more focused on trying to kill... He's gonna be more focused on trying to kill her than saying some of the stuff he said to her to you guys.
Okay. Alright.
Hopefully.
Yeah, on we go.
I don't
Alright.
really have a choice.
Yeah. So. I'm gonna make some rolls real quick.
Uh-oh.
It's just seeing how long it takes you to get there.
Are we going to get to see the meteorologist one last time?
I mean, we can. Okay, the dice are not with you guys tonight.
Uh-oh.
She's like, oh, we're towards the end of the campaign? Okay. Do I actually get some encounters? Yeah, now you, for the most part, as you all make your way through Avernus, driving through the direction looking for this large kind of chasm, you would eventually, as you make your way through this place, there's a moment where you all feel this kind of sense of warmth fill your area as you feel this kind of warmth, almost like being near hearth, and just the feeling of just divine presence. Kind of looking around to see where it comes from, you would see sitting in the back of your war machine a figure, her form almost sculpted, like everything about her almost seems sculpted, like someone took marble and sculpted the perfect human, sitting in the back of your war machine, wearing what appears to be kind of light, almost kind of like a toga, a band kind of wrapped around her eyes, covering her face, long, pure blonde hair as bright as the sun on her head, kind of going down all the way to her neck, as she kind of seems to be sitting in the back of your war machine. She kind of gives you all this warm smile that almost feels like you're in the present, almost kind of that same feeling you get when you look at her face with this warm smile, almost similar to like the feeling you get when you look at the face of a loved one. As she kind of sits in the back of your vehicle for a moment before speaking up and just going, I know it is not our place to intrude, but I see that you carry with yourself a divine servant, as she gestures to Lulu, and you're on your way to the Citadel. I merely wish to know what your intentions are, if claiming the Sword of Zariel is with the intent to destroy her.
Yeah? Return Elturel to the material plane? I'm sorry, you're very beautiful.
Her soft smile kind of goes, I have been told that before. Thank you. But I wish to ask what your... I wish to offer a second route for you before you make your way to the Citadel to claim this potent artifact. Zariel, as you would probably have guessed from the rumors and everything, is of divine nature. She was one of us at one point. In fact, she was once more powerful than even I myself. I wish to offer you a different perspective. Ultimately, the choice and decisions you make once you acquire the sword is completely up to you. But I wish to offer a different perspective. I will not force your decision. The strings of fate have decided the course, and I am not here to alter it, but merely to open your eyes to what else there could be. There is, as you can tell from her friend here, as she gestures to Lulu, her past is not forgotten to her. Zariel is aware of who and what she is, and she is bound to the 9 hells, but there is a chance for her to be free of her contract. Retrieve the sword and give it to Zariel. The sword will open her eyes to something that she has long since buried deep into her heart, believing she does not deserve. Redemption. If you think you can do that, I will give you a blessing. If not, I understand. But I wish to open up this door for you to just know that there is not always one path to what you wish to do.
And who are you exactly?
A watcher of the Blood Wall, sent here from Mount Celestia to take up Zariel's post after she ignored her rules and came down here to fall. Similar to what happened to those who fought originally for the Blood War. I'm gonna tell you she says her name, but I can't say it, so I'm just gonna post it in chat.
Okay.
I'm curious. Put it in the chat.
I'm not sure if it showed up in chat or not.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where did you put
What
it?
is
In the Foundry.
Foundry chat?
Oh, in the founder chat. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Ali Satomia?
Yeah.
Sure.
Something like that.
Call her Ali. Just call her Ali.
Prince Ali.
Fabulous.
Da, ba, da, da, da.
But yeah.
So are you an angel?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark here. A wild shot in the dark, then we use what you just told us. So Zariel basically had your job, and then something made her turn into being the ruler of Avernus and live the city down here?
Yes.
You mentioned she had a contract. Who's she in a contract with?
She kind of sighs as she kind of goes. It's a bit of a long story. She kind of takes a moment.
Okay, well, we don't need the story. We just need to know who she's in a contract with.
Asmodeus.
Oh, God.
Is this before or after being an angel? Or I guess a devil, being whatever she is now.
The contract is what turned her into the binding force in Avernus. Like most of the devils that descended down here, Before they were devils, they were once celestial beings. Before the hells and fighting within... Before fighting within, the abyss corrupted and twisted them. They were led by the Lord of Lies before the hells were created. And through the primeval pact signed by celestial beings and Asmodeus, the 9 hells were forged to act as a barrier between the multiverse and the abyss.
Okay, and then giving her sword back will break the contract?
Yes. Before the contract was made, she cast away her sword. She cast away her soul. The sword contains her essence in it. If she can make contact with her sword, the Zariel you know now will be destroyed, and the Zariel that was once one of the most potent angels in Mount Celestia will return. And perhaps she can find redemption.
Alright, that's a twist I wasn't ready for. I'm gonna level with you. That was not on the bingo card of things in Avernus, and there was a lot of things on the bingo card in Avernus.
Okay.
Can angels lie? Is that a thing they can do?
It's hard to say.
I don't think they're known to lie, though.
She seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
You can give me a, you can actually give me a religion check there, Simon, if you wish.
God, I don't know anything about religion.
It's fine. I believe.
I have a wrong tab up.
Leaving the heart of the cards.
I believe in the things on love.
Yeah, see, you're fine.
I know something for one.
So, the thing with angels so the thing with celestial beings, especially higher level celestial beings that you are aware of, is from your studies and understanding of celestial beings, whether it was just a passing kind of like, oh, whatever, or just something you read over, celestial beings are... So, angels don't necessarily lie. They don't.
Okay.
Celestial beings, for the most part, after a certain point, operate on what mortals have the concept of black and white morality. Celestial beings, after a certain threshold, celestial beings operate on a blue-orange morality, where their morality, while they may be telling the truth, the reasoning behind the truth is going to be different. So they're going to operate on a different set of morals. So they could honestly, genuinely believe what they are saying to be true, but it is hard to say if they... Because she genuinely 100% believes everything she is saying. Whether that is true or not is up to be seen. But she operates on a different morality to the point where it's hard to distinguish if she is bullshitting you to your face and is really good at it, or because of her different form of morality, she genuinely believes it. But something else you would know on that principle is certain levels of angels can tell when a mortal is bullshitting them. So it is a possibility that she may not be able to directly lie to you, but you guys cannot lie to her. There is a possibility she knows when you're bullshitting her.
I mean, so my thought process on this is if there's a way to redeem somebody, why not give them a shot? But at the same time, that is a big gamble.
This could solve all of our problems or cement them into stone and we can't do anything.
Exactly.
Again,
We kind of set in motion a few things, full disclosure, towards fighting Zariel and getting her off the throne. But I mean, I guess technically it wouldn't matter if we gave her the sword and she turned back into Angel Zariel.
Or she could
I mean,
take
she
the
could
sword
take
and
the
smite
sword.
us all.
Yeah, but like she could feasibly do that now.
Anyway. Yeah. And honestly, hold on.
How about step one, get the sword, then figure it out?
Yes.
Yeah, I like this plan. Step one,
This is
get the sword.
because this is a lot to take in. So get the sword,
And then we process.
and then we can discuss what we want to do.
And then we team huddle and figure things out.
Yes. Then we decide: do we give her the sword, or do we use the sword to destroy her?
yeah. Like, again, that's why the angel is kind of, for the most part, letting you decide. She's not... She just for the most part, it seems like she's just simply presenting the option. She's not saying you have to do this, but she's very much just being like, hey...
There's another option.
Yeah, there's another process that, if you guys haven't thought of it, here it is.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss and think about it.
Of course. Well, just an option I wish to present to you all. Take your time to think before making any decisions. As you watch as 1 minute she's there and the next you blink, she's gone.
Huh.
That happened.
Yeah.
That feels like future Simon's problem.
It will be a problem once we get the sword and we can decide what to do then.
I mean, I already know my thoughts on it.
Let's just get the sword and then we can discuss more.
Tally-ho!
Tally-ho! So, as you guys continue to make your way through this burning waste after having this discussion with this angel, falling through this sorry, I have like an eye itching. It's bothering me. You would eventually, as you're driving, you would eventually see what appears to be let me find my notes. So I had it open and it's being a bitch. You would see, as you're driving through, you would catch on to what appears to be, just ahead, you would see a dark chasm that gapes between grumbling volcanoes that spew lava and smoke into the hateful sky. The air trembles with the bellowing of some monstrous creature from the dark depths of the chasm.
might say that's terrifying, but I'm so desensitized by what we've seen down here that it just seems like another thing.
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of just another day in Avernus.
As you hear the screaming and shouting, those who can understand Abyssal would hear the familiar tones of someone screaming at Zariel.
I'm tempted to respond in Abyssal.
It's up to you.
I'm gonna yell back, yeah, Zariel's a bitch, I agree, in Abyssal.
Lord.
Alright. As that seems to kind of echo, you would see this dark chasm kind of descending down what appears to be several hundred feet, almost in a hazardous kind of descent down. Your vehicle can make it, but it's very much a dangerous slope for it to come back up if you feel like you need to drive upwards. The depth of it seems to reach... The bottom seems almost steep and treacherous. As you kind of look down, you would see this chasm descends probably a good several hundred feet, almost straight down. She just kind of looks and is like, yeah?
I'm assuming this is the chasm you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. And he sounds angry as ever.
I mean, I don't get what he's saying, but yeah.
He's
But I mean,
basically just calling Zariel a bitch.
So, yeah, he's pretty angry. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the way to the Citadel. Shall we be on it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Not too particularly excited, but I don't know what else we're gonna do.
Me neither. Simon, I assume you, begin driving it down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot else we can do.
Yeah, as you begin driving this thing down ever so slowly, kind of being careful. As you descend down, the echoing of this large beast kind of yelling for Zariel and to bring him his hammer begins echoing through Savine as you hear it this thing constantly screaming and shouting. And as you descend down further, you would see what appears to be the sight of a large figure tied to this large rock. The form of this being the size of a giant, a hill giant, the size of a bigger than any hill giant any of you have ever seen before. Bound by chains, you would see kind of resting just out of the reach of this giant as he's screaming and shouting to be let go. You would see what appears to be the form of a humanoid covered in chains, kind of looking down at him, acting seemingly as his warden. And as the sight of this scene fills your eyes, we are going to call the session there.
Yep.
Because I looked through my notes and everything, and I'm not sure if this is going to set alarms off in your head, but this is another instance of a level up.
Oh no.
Another instance of what? You cut out.
A level up.
Leveling up again.
A level up? Oh, no.
Yep, yep, that's not good. That's not good.
Well, it was nice knowing you guys.
Yep.
I love leveling up.
Dead.
I've got a second character rolled and ready to go, except I gotta level her up, but you know.
No, I think if we die, that's gonna be it.
Oh yeah, no, we're at a point where we can't introduce new characters, huh?
If we die, that's gonna be it. Pepperones.
Look, we've been at the point of no return for a bit now. Like, it's not like we're surprised.
I know, but you know.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh boy.
Well, I hope everyone had fun. I know this was a very more talky, not really much fighting and shit going on, but hope you had a good time.
We lost a star on Jordan.
Sedge. Siege.
Hi,
Do we get a bad review if our cargo runs away?
Who's
What's
going to be
protocol
leaving
for
the
that?
review? Or who would know?
Who's our boss?
It's fine. We don't know him.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, I think Simon's kind of the unintentional leader of all this.
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm sure I don't get fined, bro. I got given a task at work and I'm doing the work. I'm basically just an office worker, bro.
Alright. Yeah, I think that
Keep me on retainers so I don't blow up the city.
it'll be fine. You didn't think he would get that far now, would you? That you went from someone that's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch I'm in hell Mad Maxing the shit and I'm deciding the fate of a whole city.
I'm in danger.
Danger.
Hell yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go over raid to Nightmare Nexus, because not only is he doing Warhammer stuff, which is pretty neat, but he also recently got a good boyo by the name of Beans.
He got a doggo.
Yeah, he got a doggo named Beans, and he has a picture of it on a screen. So some positivity with doggo. So we'll go say hi to him. Thank you all again for playing, and then next week level up characters to 9.
Oh boy.
Yay!
I can't count that high.
It'll be fine.
Don't worry too much.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be fine.
You haven't played a campaign with Khan before, so you need to worry when he makes 2 sessions in a row.
What's the worst that happens? Our pretend character dies?
Yes.
Yeah.
And?
You don't understand the
made it
emotional.
up.
You don't know.
It's all in your head.
You don't understand the emotional investment these people have to their characters.
I wrote a 3-page backstory including 2 generations.
That's commitment, actually. I like that a lot, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no, mad respect. Anyway, I'm gonna go right out. Bye.
Bye.
We'll stop the stream here.